For these originators that served as templates for scores of imitators, this is their time to shine. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down another top 10 most cloned video games. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at the games that were synonymous for having other game developers attempt to profit off the original's success. If there's something you didn't see on this list, be sure to check out our original list of the top 10 most cloned video games. Finally, we are ruling out games that have amassed many fan creations, as that's a list for another day. Number 10, Bobble. Released during the massive arcade scene of the mid-80s, Taito's two-player platformer found the right formula to stand out. Traveling through 100 stages no bigger than the size of the game screen, our heroes Bub and Bob blew bubbles to trap and then defeat their enemies. With colorful graphics, catchy music, and memorable characters in addition to the solid gameplay, the game became a massive hit. Its popularity resulted in not only bootlegs of the game, but also rival companies making titles with similar gameplay and stages. These games were fun in their own right, but with several sequels and the spin-off Bust a Move series, no copycat could burst this bubble. Number 9, Diablo.
Fresh meat.
Blizzard Entertainment's track record of making fantastic gameplay experiences is long and fruitful. Take the case of Diablo, a hybrid of the RPG and hack-and-slash genres. With simple but fun combat, the action takes place in real time, and with randomly generated dungeons to explore, Diablo revitalized the PC RPG market. After its success, games that played like Diablo, labeled Diablo clones, came out of the woodwork. 3 of these clones, Torchlight, Hellgate London, and Mythos, were created by teams comprised of the staff of the first 2 Diablo games, Blizzard North. Diablo's contributions made it the forefather of the action RPG subgenre, and many of its predecessors continue to live in its shadow. Number 8, the Legend of Zelda series. When gamers think of the action-adventure genre, they think of the classic Nintendo franchise. Who doesn't want to have adventures, battling monsters, and saving the entire kingdom, right? With success comes imitation, and other developers clearly said, I want some of that, and made their own take on a Zelda game. These games have ranged from somewhat unique to blatant cloning in their execution. As Link's adventures keep going, so do the clones. In fact, we already have a top 10 list on the best Legend of Zelda clones, so be sure to check that out.
I have no choice but to entrust the rest to you.
Number 7, Clash of Clans. One of the most successful mobile games in recent memory, Clash of Clans has seen tons of mobile strategy titles stealing its style. Basically, these clones keep the same game elements, microtransactions included for the most part, and change who is the focus of the game. Take the currently titled Vikings War of Clans, which is basically Clash of Clans with just, Vikings. Then there's the Ninja version, the Call of Duty version, the Star Wars version, the list goes on. Considering that Supercell makes millions of dollars a year with the in-game app purchases made through Clash, other developers see that system as a goldmine, and they definitely want to cash in. Number 6, Mario Party. Nothing says fun like a video game where gamers are playing a board game. Well, maybe not, but it still works, trust us. As a game that offered many different experiences in multiplayer and has E-rated material, this game proved to be a perfect fit for families and friends. As such, clones also try to capitalize on the family-friendly dynamic by adding cute-looking characters or using kid-friendly franchises like Sonic or Shrek. Even Nintendo cloned it themselves by making the spin-off Wii Party. Number 5, Breakout. Created by PC gaming royalty Roland Bushnell, Steve Wozniak, and Steve Bristow, Breakout offers gameplay that's simple yet addictive. With a paddle and ball, players had to knock down all the obstacles without the ball going out of bounds. A financial windfall and a huge influence on gaming's progression, clones were inevitable. Many of these clones decided to add to the gameplay by changing the shapes of what the ball hit and adding various weapons and power-ups. In Japan, most Breakout clones are considered a gaming genre called block kazushi, or block destruction. To add to the clone feel, most of those games are also at least partially titled block kazushi, even though they're technically unrelated. Number 4. Tetris. From one simplistic game to another, Tetris got people's attentions in the arcade. With the objective to make horizontal lines using the shapes given, this puzzle title would take the world by storm as a game bundled with the original Game Boy. Helping to shape the puzzle game genre, Tetris's success saw a huge wave of copycats. While some added new shapes or gimmicks to set themselves apart, most were just cheap knockoffs. The Tetris company, who owns licensing rights to the game, are aware of the latter and have been taking legal action against these clones for years. Number 3. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. In our first cloned video games list, we talked about how the first Call of Duty was technically a clone of the first Medal of Honor game. Modern Warfare, the fourth installment, popularized military-based FPS games again and would gain clones of its own.
The war has changed. Did it?
Set in 2011, Modern Warfare's popularity resulted in a host of other modern military shooters released in a short period of time. One of these shooters was, ironically enough, a Medal of Honor reboot, which brought their setting into 2002. With so many clones out in the market, it was inevitable that Modern Warfare would start receiving parody games too.
I'm gonna point at you and say something serious to further develop the game's storyline.
Number 2. World of Warcraft. After its debut, World of Warcraft would go on to popularize the MMORPG genre in a way that no other game prior could. With its robust world, endless opportunities for adventure, and the ability to join guilds, WoW made its mark on gaming and on pop culture as a whole. While the game itself certainly wasn't the first MMO, after its success, MMOs of all kinds made their way to the PC. As expected, most of these games tried to capitalize on what made Warcraft a household name, from its fantasy setting all the way to its gameplay and interface. But making an MMO is pricey, and most clones died out in a few years. Warcraft, however, is still going strong.
Great to meet you. What can I do for you?
Number 1. Temple Run. While not the first Endless Runner game, Temple Run popularized it. As a mobile game with a simple objective of running as long as possible while collecting items, the game couldn't outrun its imitators. Each clone has its own wrinkle to the formula, changing where the character is running or who the character is. So, everyone from secret agents to high-speed hedgehogs and every other Tom, Dick, and Pitfall Harry has gotten in on the act. With how addictive Endless Runners are, the cloning process shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah,